Alright, time for another Bionicle review. This time one that won't even fit in the camera. Let's see. There we go. This is Nidhiki from 2004, one of the '04 Titan sets. A very nice one indeed. I wanted to review him because he's one of the largest ones I own. I used to own the 2009 Bionicle V7, but I'm gonna get a new one because it broke, hopefully soon. So right now, this is my largest Bionicle set. My largest set ever would be probably Witch Doctor from Hero Factory, but this is probably the largest one I have that's from specifically Bionicle. And I think he's really cool. I loved him in the movie, and I love him in set form. So I guess story-wise, Nidhiki here, well, he's from the 2004, kind of like the Metro Nui prequel line. He's actually a former Toa. This guy used to be a Toa. He was part of Toa Lacan's team. Then he betrayed the Toa, joined the Dark Hunters, got mutated. I believe it was Rudaka that mutated him into this right here. Again, Bionicle lore is incredibly complex. There's probably like a million details I'm missing out. That is incredibly abridged, what I just gave you, but yeah, he's a Dark Hunter, former Toa turned Dark Hunter. That's Nidhiki right here. And you don't know what Dark Hunters are? They're basically like a crime syndicate in Metro Nui, so there's that. But I guess we'll get a close-up of Nidhiki's face here. Move the disc out of the way. I can. He's using a Vaki head. He's using the Vaki head build, but it's a little different because all the Vaki had like a color for the main noggin here, and his is just gray, and he has like a translucent green eye stalk that I don't think was used with any other Vaki. Another thing that separates him from the Vaki is that with the Vaki, the eye stalk would often contrast with the color scheme. With the Nidhiki, it fits perfectly. A little translucent green here, and his actual body's green. So that's really cool. Now time to mount the camera again, so we can talk about Nidhiki himself. Form-wise, he is very, very odd. He's like a spider centaur. So like he has, you know how like centaurs are like a human mixed with like a horse. So he's got like he has the general shape of like a centaur, but it's not a horse he's mixed with, it's like a spider. So, come on. There we go. So like that's from the waist up, he's got somewhat humanoid proportions, like a body, torso, a head, albeit a very weird head that sticks out. If I can get a camera. I'm sorry, it's a really big toy. And 2 arms, even though it doesn't really have claws, or he has claws, not hands, he has pinchers. But then his lower body is, they're on these little spikes. So it's almost like a, kind of like a spider almost. There's only 4 of them, not 8. I guess if you count the hands, but even then, that would just be 6. So yeah, trying to figure out what this is incredibly difficult, but Bionicle is really good at that. As you can see, his build is mostly Technic because it is 2004, so this is really all they had for Technic. Once you get into like later years, and especially into CCBS, you get a little more, but like, it's just, you know, the pins and axles down here. He's using a foot piece as side armor. That's pretty cool. And he's also using a silver Bionicle shield as a front armor here. That's pretty nice. And some more Toa Metro armor that was introduced that year, along with the foot. Silver, I guess, leg piece. And I think these pincher pieces that we also see on his hands, they were first introduced the previous year with, I think Takanuva was the first person to use these pieces. I could be wrong on that. And I think this is all here. This is a piece used with the Rakshi. So you kind of get a weird mixture of pieces involved with him. And you know, there's like a limb here. His arms are using the Rakshi leg pieces. mixed with the traditional connector with some more Technic axle beams. That's the correct word, beam. So you get a lot of Technic mixed with some classic, traditional Bionicle, like kind of like limb pieces. Like there's the Metro torso in there. It's a pretty cool build. Basically, how the build works is that when in the instructions, you build this top half and this bottom half separately, and then you connect them together via ball sockets here. So that's pretty cool. In terms of articulation, let me sip my water, then we'll go over articulation. Keeping him in camera is hard because he's so big, so I probably won't even try half the time. He is not the biggest toy I've ever reviewed. That honor still goes to R.I.D. Optimus Prime, but Nidhiki is pretty big. At least for his time, he was pretty big, along with like Kreka and Nivok. His articulation, again, it's Bionicle, it's Lego construction, so pretty much 99.99999% of it is going to be ball joint oriented, and that's kind of says your head's on a ball joint. It can look all the way up. That is very far up. It can turn a 360, it can tilt, do whatever. The arms, shoulders up here, ball joint. The elbow is on a ball joint, but it's an artificial swivel, so it is connected via ball socket, but it's meant to only go this way. You can kind of wiggle it, but that's about it. It can pretty much only go this way. And then nothing, no hand movement, but there is a gimmick in the hand. Torse waist, you can go forward and back, like so. And then the legs have no articulation really whatsoever. That's kind of a bummer. They can move backward and forward like this, but that's not really do much. They can't, there's a gimmick, but again, that's really a gimmick, not actual articulation. So it's pretty disappointing that the legs don't have that much movement. So you can't really photograph him in like a walking pose, but he does look really good regardless. So I guess we'll go over the gimmicks. First of all, here's the disc. This was the main launcher for 2004. The is it called Kanoka disc? Yeah, Kanoka, because the masks are called Kanohi, and they're made from these. But it's I think this is a, is that a Onu Metru symbol? It's not, I know it's not Lei Metru. I think it might be Onu or maybe Po Metru, I don't know. Maybe Po, but this is the specific one that is supposed to come with the Nidhiki, and apparently that code, back in the day there was like a code and you could like unlock like bonus content like a website or some crap, I don't know. But but the code says 638. I did Google it, I did look it up. Apparently that number is specific to Nidhiki only, so you will not find that code number within any of the Vaki or any of like the 2004 Matoran that were released that year. So that's how you know that this specific disc is unique to Nidhiki, and this is the one he's supposed to come with. It'll go in. Another thing, this disc does glow in the dark. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the light, see if it'll glow. Yay! Check that out! It's glowing! Wow, I cannot believe I caught that on camera. That is absolutely fantastic. I was not expecting that. That was a very pleasant surprise. Anyway, you put the disc in his mouth, and just like the Vaki, which I've never reviewed, so it'll be new, you basically press either this button or this button, and it will shoot out of his mouth. It's not great. It's probably better in practice. Let me try this again, using this back one here. Come on, there we go. Yeah, let's try it again. I'll do one last time, and then so it's like, yeah, it's not perfect by any stretch, but it gets the job across. I'll just go ahead and leave the disc out because it'll probably just get in the way. Move it right there. Adjust this darn camera. There we go. Now the other gimmick, besides that, is the hands, the pinchers. you see this flap here that's using right here? You move it this way, and his hand opens, so you can grab something like a tiny Matoran or whatever. Move the other one too. So now he's like that, and then you can just kind of, you can do this for hours, just open and close them, pinch them around, recreate that scene from the movie where he's like begging, or not begging, he's threatening to kill this Tauren if he doesn't, like, that scene from Legends of Metro Nui where like he's like, do it, and he's like, I forget, it's like he's telling him to like reverse the flow of this water supply or some crap to catch the Toa, but whatever. You get the drift. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Go on, here we go. That's pretty cool. The other gimmick is, well, there's a few actually. You can do the same thing with his legs. So this folds in, and what you do, move the arms out of the way, you fold the legs in, and you collapse them. Whoa now. Camera. Do the same thing on the back. And basically you pull his arms up, not his arms up, you kind of fold him back a bit, and that is flying mode. He basically glides in the air like this. I am not making that up. He genuinely does that in the story. I'm not sure how it works, but it's pretty cool regardless. And now there's another gimmick you can do. Now, I don't think he does this in the story. I don't think this is canon. Like, it's in the instructions. Like, he does not do this in the actual story, but it is in the instructions. You open his claws up, presumably. Turn his head around. Rotate it back. Make sure these legs are out of the way. And situate the arms, and then you just fold this down. And now he's like a hunched over spider crab mode thing. Again, to my knowledge, he never does this in the story. He certainly never does it in the movie, but he does this. The instructions. This is official. Like this is. They tell you to do this. I kind of dig it. Again, if the arms are like this, yeah. I mean, like I kind of dig it. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty cool. One last thing. This is the last thing I'll show you how to do with him, because again, there's so much things you can do with Nidhiki that you didn't think you could do with them, but you can. I don't know why I keep bumping my camera because it's a large figure, but close the claws. Put him back into that flying mode again. So fold the feet up. Fold the legs up. And what you can do is you can kind of bend that down, put his arms like this, and this is how you store him. If you ever need to put him in like a storage bin or a storage container, whether it be temporarily or that's where you always keep him, in a drawer under your bed, this is how you do it. He lays completely flat, and it makes so much room for all your other toys or whatever, your Bionicle sets or Hero Factory sets or whatever, you know? It's the perfect way to store him. I think LJ Johnson told me how to do that 8 years ago. Man, I'm so old. Those videos were 8 years old now. LJ's classic reviews or recap. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Nidhiki. I'm gonna put this back in his mouth and adjust the camera so I can get my thumbnail. I'm trying to think of what else I can say that either I haven't said already or the Bionicle community hasn't said about him. He's such a great set, such a unique design, and there's so much things you can do with him. He's such a fun build. He makes a great display piece. Story-wise, the character is really cool, especially his performance in the movie. I don't know the voice actor that did him, but he did a really great job playing this just slimy character. Yeah, I say definitely recommend getting Nidhiki in your collection if you ever can, because you will not regret owning this definitely odd, strange, but beautiful masterpiece of construction and Lego engineering.